enter tonight's matchup. The Red Devils in the white with the red shorts, white socks, will be going from our right to our left. The Wildcats in their away purple outfits with shorts, jerseys, as well as socks in the purple design for the Wildcats. Wildcats in goal. Their goalie for the last few years, Matt Elby. Elby's a tough keeper. He's had a lot of work in the last few years and has played extremely well. For the Wildcats have an overall record, let's see here, in conference of 2-6, which is one better than the East team, which is 1-6. Although East has an overall season record of 10-9-3, which exceeds the 6-12-1 record of their opponents. This game has a lot of emotion. It's parents' night for both teams, which I think is kind of a quality time for parents to come out and be recognized for the support that they've given their sons here playing high school soccer. Ball goes out on the end, and we have a throw-in near the corner. The West team, a player being held by the hand by the East defender, could have easily been a free kick there. And at this point, the West team goes back on defense. Player in an offside position. Flag goes up, and we're... ball goes over to the defenders from West because of the offside position here. Ball's just outside the penalty arc early in the contest, a little bit over 2 minutes gone in first half play. Game here matches up two teams that have tough situations normally. The East squad and the West squad have had traditionally more difficulty in attracting players to their programs, and in the last couple of years both of the programs have improved and have shown marked success in some of their non-conference play. We have a throw-in coming for East just outside the penalty box. We expected early on to see a lot of pressure from the East attack. A few weeks back, we had a chance to coach against them in the sidelines, and the East team came with a lot of players. Particularly was successful is the motion that they create up top with their offensive players. There's a lot of movement with players moving in and out of the offensive set, and it makes it very difficult for the defenders to get a good tight mark. Again, this presentation is brought to you by Wistar Sports, your leader in soccer programming throughout northeastern Wisconsin. This game will be shown in its entirety on October 23rd. The matchup here between these two teams goes back quite a long tradition. The East squad trying to get possession, but West having the ball and playing it up the field. With the viewfinder showing me gray and white and black, it's nice to see two teams that are very easily distinguishable. One of the players to watch on the West attack happens to be number 32, Kalm Bao Thao, the young man who has great ball skills, number 32, and he has, when he gets possession, like he has here, has made a lot of things happen in the West offense. The game tonight, again, is brought to you through the cooperation of Time Warner Cable Television. We want to thank Time Warner for all of their assistance in providing us with the a lot of the video support and assistance. People like Joe and Daryl and all the people from Time Warner, we want to give them a hearty thanks. And we have a free kick coming for the Wildcats. Ball set and played up by young Mr. Hafe. We watched him play back as a sweeper as a freshman and has maintained that spot in the back line for the West Wildcats. Nice throw-in. Good header back into the opponent's end and played back ahead by West. West with the ball. Keeper comes way out to kick it wide. Apparently there's been some recent change in keepers for for East here. We knew them to have Chris Campbell a little bit earlier this year, and he is no longer on their roster. West with the high kick up and over as the keeper was out of position here. The new keep for the Red Devils is number 21, Than Thumsaran. Challenging name for me to try to get. I think I'll try to call him by his first name. Pon? Okay. I'll call him by his first name, Pon. I'm assisted by another photographer here. I appreciate his assistance. And Pon will be in goal. Well, I think we'll call him Pon and leave his last name to be brutalized by someone else. We had two players hooked up. East with the call here. They're setting the ball up for a quick play. Watch Bernardi. Peter Bernardi is a key essential in this whole offensive set here. A man that was a captain on this squad since he was a sophomore and has led this team not only offensively but defensively for a number of years. Ball's played out wide, kicked, and didn't get a number on that. That could have been Bloomer that made the kick there for the Wildcats. Matt Bloomer, I think I have his dad next to me. He probably knows that kid. But Bloomer with the kick wide, and LB will have the goal kick coming for the Wildcats. Very early in the contest, no score, with 32:40 remaining in first half play. Ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in coming for East. The gentleman doing the center for this game is Chick Hawkins. I would say he's the grand old man around the area, but there are some older officials. But Chick is a very experienced official, does a very good game, normally keeps the game tightly in control. And with some of the lines we see along the sideline, it's going to be very difficult to see the sideline. The actual yellow sideline, they actually painted over the green carpet that was sitting on the sideline instead of moving the carpet, which shows a lot of intelligence for the people that maintain the field. And as a result, the yellow line where this gentleman's standing is no longer even there. The field here is multi-purpose, used for not only soccer but also football. And we have a multitude of lines, some of which are football, in the white, and the soccer lines are in the yellow. That can be confusing. At least once during the game, you'll find a player from one of the teams that will try to throw the ball in, find out that they threw it in from the wrong line, and lose possession because they threw it in incorrectly. LB with the kick. Long clearing kick over the top with a flick, trying to set up his leading scorer here. The ball goes deep down into the corner. We're having a little difficulty seeing the player. Comes out from the side, makes a nice header in towards the middle, and one of his teammates headers the ball across the goal line and out of bounds. And we'll have a goal kick coming with about 30 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in first half play. Substitutions coming on for both teams here. Longley comes on for the Red Devils. Longley is an offensive player that comes from a strong family tradition. His older brother played here for the Red Devils. And Scotty, as we call him in club play, has contributed to the offense here for the Red Devils is here. Looks like Bloomer with the throw, number 6. Ball goes down line and towards the corner and crossed across deep to the weak side to looks like Ricky Sanchez, number 3. Sanchez is an interesting story. I'll get to him in a little bit. Hard play in front of the net. Ball still out and bouncing around. Nice save there to keep the ball alive. And West defender, looks like Haith with the kick off his foot and goes out of bounds. And we'll have a corner coming for the Red Devils here with just under 29.5 minutes remaining in first half play. Red Devils with the kick. Cross comes in towards the goal. Nice flick, and the ball carries out of bounds. Looks like we'll have a goal kick coming for West. Again, this presentation is brought to you by Wistar Sports, and we try to bring you a variety of soccer action from throughout northeastern Wisconsin, whether it be high school athletics or college. You saw just recently the recreational play in the Parochial School Soccer League, where some of the young stars of tomorrow get a chance to hone their skills. East trying to play the ball through that middle area where they seem to find better successes if they can get it out wide, much like they did right here. Nice cross into the middle, ball's out in front, shot and goal. It's like Bernardi with the cross. Exactly. From what we could see, Bernardi got the ball out in the corner, and he was all alone. Instead of taking the ball in himself, he made a crossing pass into Bloomer, who was in front of the net. He gained possession, got a quick shot on goal, and put it down for the Red Devils. So with 28-18 remaining in first half play, Red Devils go up by a goal, 1-0 over the West Wildcats. Bernardi is a big part of their offense, and you saw how important it was in that play. Bloomer was at home in front of the net and was surprisingly unmarked. And as a result, they got a nice cross, good shot, and finished past the keeper into the far netting and put them up by a goal. West with a kick just outside the penalty arc. Shot over the wall. Just lofts over the top of the bar, and we'll have a goal kick for the home team from East. The Wistar Sports team will be joining you for doubleheader action here tonight, as the team of Mark Cagliari and Jack Steinbrecher will come on to do the announcing for the second game of this doubleheader, where the Green Bay Preble Hornets will take on the Green Bay Southwest Trojans. East with the ball. Drop ball and played up ahead and deep into the zone. Will carry out, not out of bounds, and we'll have a goal kick coming for the, excuse me, we had an offsides call, my mistake. Referee with his hand in the air to indicate the offsides. And ball's set down approximately the 18-yard line for the kick. Player from behind kind of comes in from behind and goes under him. No call on that play. Ball comes off of Haith. Tries to make the play, and two players get to know each other a little bit. That's Nick Ribeiro and we had a shot and save there that Elby makes the stop on. East is very much a first half team from what we've seen. They play with great intensity and go to the net very well. Something happens in the second half from what we've seen in some of their games where they've not played as intensely. a throw in coming for East, deep in their defensive end. Players trying to get the ball out of danger and up and out the sideline. We'll have a throw in coming from midway between midfield and the penalty box. We have some substitutions coming on, and throw coming by Loy from the Wildcats. Ball comes off the foot of Bloomer and out of bounds. He was trying to set the ball for Bernardi. And in this matchup here, we've got a lot of action here, but only one goal on the board, and that board seems to say 1-0 for East. A flick, and the ball goes back downfield. East with the throw. Ball gets played up the field, and West steps into it. That's Loy with the nice play. We're joined in the booth by our compadre, Mark Cagliari, and as soon as we can get him set up, we'll try to get that to him, but we're going to have to do some audio changes before that can happen, so Mark is going to have to be patient until we can get ready for him. We expect him for the second contest. I didn't expect to see him up here quite this early. Ball gets played to East, and East with the play ahead. And Elby comes out to the 18, almost the 18, 15-yard line to get it. And the ball carries then out of bounds. And we'll have a throw-in for East. Probably at the next goal kick, we'll take a technical break, and we'll come back to you shortly. But as we stand at this point, with 23:03 remaining in first half play, the East Red Devils are ahead of the West Wildcats by a 1-0 score. Ball's played in and off the foot of Haft and over the bar, and looks like we got a corner kick coming. He runs down quickly into the corner. Looks like possibly Bloomer here with the kick. Ball comes to the weak side, a header back in that Elby quickly grabs up. And a long throw out, beautiful throw by Elby. He threw that as far as some goalies kick the ball. Nice work by Elby on that pass out. He's had a lot of play in goal in the 3-4 years that he's played there. Young man is a fine young athlete, comes from a great family. His mother Mary and his father Jim, two people that I respect enormously, always willing to give and assist with soccer. We'll take a break in our action here and return with more first half play from East Stadium, from Wistar Sports, and we'll return in just a moment. Return to first half play. East continues to go on the attack, and we're joined here in the booth by our ace color man, Mark Cagliari. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Doing just wonderful. It's so far a good night for soccer. See some dark clouds off on the horizon, so got a nice doubleheader tonight, and hopefully we'll get them both in before the rain comes.
Well, and hopefully we'll be able to retain your voice by the end of the night. It sounds like you're a little hoarse from some reason. Are you out cheering at football games or soccer games?
I'm out selling.
Oh, okay. Yes, a salesman. He's losing his voice. His boss should be very proud then. He's obviously been talking to a lot of people. East with the ball, clears the ball to midfield, and West gets possession again. Played it back to the sweep, and sweep out to the fullback on the corner. Missed opportunity there for the Red Devils, but after a double up, they put pressure on and finally kicked the ball away. West with a throw in here. We're just over 20 minutes remaining in first half play. Again, this is a game between the Green Bay West Wildcats in the purple and their crosstown rival, the Green Bay East Red Devils. Play was not a throw-in because of the push. There was a call that they should have a kick from there. Heath steps up and makes the kick, and it goes out of bounds, and West will have another throw.
Tell you, Green Bay West is supposed to turn in the corner. Oh, we have a breakaway here. Number 11.
Shot.
Nice shot and a goal. Nick Ribeiro.
Ribeiro was fighting off the defender all the way down towards the goal, and as the keeper came out to shut off his angle, he was able to hit it with the outside of his foot, push the ball to the same part of the netting that the previous goal went in, and that Bloomer hit on the earlier hit. And with now about 19 minutes remaining in first half play, the Red Devils go up by a 2-0 score.
That was a nice play by Ribeiro. Certainly has superior speed, beat his man, and the keeper came out and put a nice touch pass right to the back of the net, nice and low. We were just talking about Green Bay West. Again, it's a team that I think has got some great potential. I saw them play a few weeks ago, playing against Appleton Xavier, and for a half, played Xavier very tough before giving up a couple goals in the second half.
Well, Xavier is a tough team. They beat returning conference champion and state finalist Notre Dame, Green Bay Notre Dame. They beat them by a 3-0 score. So if they were able to stay with that Xavier team, they probably a pretty good squad.
Foul on Green Bay East on that grab. In fact, ran into Andy Steger, head coach of Preble, after the game, and was wanting to know some pointers about Appleton Xavier. And I told him, hey, Xavier's a good team, but you better not forget Green Bay West. I told him that as far as I was concerned, the West was overall a better team, just that Xavier had a couple quick breakaways to end up beating West.
Long kick by West there that the keeper grabs in front of the goal. Very easily could have resulted in a goal if there was a misplay by the keep. And East goes on the attack again. Haft with the ball, number 9.
What surprises me that East has scored a couple quick goals. West has a very sound defense, including their keeper. I was real impressed with them against Appleton Xavier. The key for West has been getting some shots on goal.
Yeah, and they've struggled with that, and Elby a lot of times in previous years has always been the guy that's had to kind of have the finger in the dike holding out the goals coming at him. And tonight he had 2 plays that went by him that I might have thought he could have gotten to. But
well, I think it's a case of speed. I think West, they play great defense when they're in good position. If they get caught one-on-one, they're not as fast typically as opponents. So that's where they can get beat. As you're seeing here, number 2 for East, getting a potential break there. Well, Scott Longley.
East puts themselves in pretty good condition. We saw this against Green Bay Preble when East played them. They attack the goal in good numbers. They come to it very quickly and create a lot of opportunities for them. The guys you want to watch out in front are Bernardi and Bloomer. Those are 2 people that seem to look to each other.
Nice save there by the keeper for Green Bay West.
Elby with the stop, and East still retains possession in the corner. High crossing pass that's headed back in towards the middle, and still out and ready for play. Ball is hit up and high and out of bounds.
Zach Halterman with the pressure there for Green Bay East. Nice header and nice control the ball, giving East some opportunities.
Here that we got to try to correct in route.
Well, West that this game close. If they give up another goal, it's going to be tough for them to come back and win. On the other hand, they've got to get the ball. The guy that I saw was quite a factor for West was number 32, Cam Bautau. He's got some good speed and he's got some good foot skills. What they've got to do is find a way to get him one-on-one. And that's been their problem, getting the ball up to the forwards.
We had some issues here with our audio that we think we've gotten somewhat corrected. And at this point, still a 2-0 margin with about 14.5 minutes remaining in first half play. The Red Devils from Green Bay East up on the attack, trying to expand that margin.
35, Chiking Kong, getting the ball upfield to 39, Josh Olenichek.
Olenichek trying to set the ball to Ty Kong. Ty is a player that I know quite well. He's got a great head ball. You play the ball to his head, he's going to be able to do some things for you. Plays for me on a summer team, or he did up to this coming year.
I saw Ty a couple weeks ago, and he seemed to do a very good job of passing, dishing the ball off to his teammates. I was very impressed with Ty.
He's a very unselfish player. I mean, very seldom do you see him look for his own shot. Very complimentary and trying to allow his teammates to succeed. And the Summers team, we were very, very successful, and some of his efforts were a direct part of that success.
We've got, looks like Chick Hawkins in the middle. Looks like we're going to have a drop ball here.
Did we have an injury situation or maybe a double foul?
Dalton looks like it was a double foul there.
Now, we can rely on some of the technical expertise because Mark happens to be a certified WIA ref and has been doing some of the games where he's got to see these players up close. And in some cases, if they didn't care for his reffing, up close and personal.
Well, this year I only did well, I must confess I did a line for a West Xavier game, and I did a center for an NEW Lutheran game when they were playing, can't recall, a team from down south.
Florida, Louisiana?
No, I'm trying to think, Watoma or a team down. Omro, maybe. No, I think it was I was thinking it was Watoma.
Player taken down from behind. Looks like they'll have a free play here, but he's injured and he's down.
They call a foul against Green Bay East, and they're calling timeout.
Looks like player injured on that play.
He's getting up. It's number 4. That's Fernando Ponce for Green Bay East.
Ponce is slowly making his way to the sidelines.
Well, now he's heading off. In his number 5, Sada Borhain.
Now, Borhain's a name that's familiar in the East lineup. I believe there's a Borhain that plays for the women's team for the Red Devils.
And for Green Bay East, Dylan Schultz.
There are certain names that you associate with Green Bay East soccer. Obviously, Bernardi is one.
Longley's another.
Longley's another. And with the quality play of Bloomer, obviously he's a name that you'll always recognize associated with the East program. There's a renewed optimism in this team. Early in the season, they played very, very well. They had an extremely good record in non-conference play. they've struggled as they've gotten to conference action, having only one win to show for 7 contests. But again, that Fox River Valley conference.
It's a tough conference this year.
It is.
And Gary, let me tell you, going into the tournament, if either one of these two teams gets ahead of an opponent, I don't care if it's Green Bay Southwest Preble, that's going to be a tough team to beat.
Well, we got a chance to see both teams, and in the Preble West matchup, there was a 1-goal differential in the final. And at East game, East dominated a lot of play against Preble in first half play, much like they did against Notre Dame and against Green Bay Southwest, where both contests they were ahead at halftime.
Yeah, I really wouldn't consider it an upset. These teams are not that far away from the upper echelon. It may be 1 or 2 mistakes or breaks in a game.
Well, and some teams that have a little bit more depth over time can wear them down a little bit more because they don't have the depth in their squad. But definitely they have some skilled players that have made their program successful. And we're seeing some of that play here tonight.
And some nice hustle as well. We had number 21, Yi Yang for West, running almost falling on the track, running the ball out even though it was going out of bounds.
And he played, and it was an East throw-in, so he played the ball back to his opponent, which shows a lot of class. Now, that's one thing that I have to say I'm a lot more satisfied with in soccer play around the Green Bay area, is that there's a class. There's more quality of respect and gentlemanly play. A couple of years back, there was a few programs that were known for very, very physical, very, very cheap play in some cases, and I don't think we're seeing that from those programs so far this year. And it's more in the spirit of what the game is supposed to be like.
Kambao Tao got a nice shot there, and again, that's what West needs to do to have an opportunity, is to get him the ball and have him get a shot on there. Gary, you're right. Plus, I think the level of coaching and instruction has improved so much. We were doing the parochial tournament this weekend, and I was one of the referees. There's a player injured on the field, and I had the players saying, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. And it was the team that was injured was the team that had the ball, and I said, kick the ball out of bounds, which they did, and they blew the whistle. So I think they're starting to get some of this instruction early on where they know some of the etiquette and sportsmanship required. Nice hustle there by number 5 for East.
Ball comes back out to midfield where East regains possession. Nice run up the line. I believe that's Bernardi. Ball still, well, ball got played off of.
We have a corner kick for East.
Number 14 for the Wildcats, and looks like a corner here.
Looks like number 6, Brad Weber.
Weber's a name we know, but from the Southwest program. Obviously, it's a different Weber. Certain names, certain teams you tend to associate, like a Haft with the Notre Dame program, or a Longley, Bernardi in this program. Certain names just.
Well, although you run into relatives, cousins on 2 sides of the river, I know the Gerzak family in the heated battle with, was it Preble Southwest a number of years ago. You sometimes will get, sometimes even brothers playing against each other in these games. One brother will go to one high school and one will go to another.
Well, we remember that with the Potasic family, where Nate Potasic and Matt Potasic, 2 brothers, one went to Notre Dame and one went to Preble, and we saw that matchup. But generally, you'll find families will tend to stay in the same school. Oh, a chip at that play,
There's
and the
some
ball goes
chippy
up.
action going on the last minute or so here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is it 7 minutes? Or
7.5 minutes left in the first half.
Okay.
Again with a 2-0 score for Green Bay East.
And we'll have a throw-in coming for West.
I'll be right back. I'm doing some littering. I got to go pick up my mess.
That's fine. We're up here in the East Stadium Crow's Nest trying to get some video for you soccer addicts that we have in the area. Hafe, the sweeper for, actually, I'm calling him Hafe. By tradition, a Hafe, because I know the Hafe family, is actually Haidt, H-A-E-D-T. And again, comes from a strong family where I think his brother had played for West as well. He got to play a critical role as their sweeper as a freshman, and has remained in that role now for a few years. Ball played ahead, and looks like it'll carry beyond the goal line, and we'll have a goal kick for the East team. With about 6 minutes remaining in first half play, the Longley comes in as an attacker. Longley, Bernardi up near the top, playing more of an offensive midfield role. Coach Anthony Acella likes to have those players move considerably in that offensive set, and when they do, they create some very difficult play for the defensive squad. Ball's played across the field. There's no one there to receive it, and East will have an easy throw in here after that poor crossing pass.
Zach Halteman for East.
Number 17, cross in.
Having some nice 1- and 2-touch passing there for Green Bay East.
Yep. Crossing pass. The West defenders putting on nice run to get the ball free.
Opportunity.
2-on-1 break, but the sweeper is able to get that clear before the two attackers can come on him.
You know that, and Gary, I was talking about Green Bay West earlier. That's the one thing that impressed me more as compared to Appleton Xavier. West is doing a nice job of one-touch passing, something I did not see with Xavier. It was just that West didn't get those options, those opportunities to shoot and score.
Well, the Xavier team, the thing that I always watched from Xavier when they played Southwest and then when they later played against the team I was coaching at Preble, West team, or the Appleton Xavier team was almost a counter-attacking. They waited in the passing lanes and waited for you to make a mistake.
Absolutely. That's what they did against Green Bay West a few weeks ago. They had a couple opportunities to make quick breaks, and I know that's how they scored 2 of the 3 goals that they scored against Green Bay West.
And they work a considerable time on set pieces, and when they get near the box, it's surprising just how many times their players go down around the box.
In fact, it's funny you mentioned them. I'm sorry, they beat Notre Dame, did you say?
They beat Notre Dame by a 3-0 margin.
And that's surprising because the strategy they use is very similar to what Notre Dame does. The quick counter and the flooding of the offense to outnumber your opponent. And when I watched West play, or I'm sorry, when I watched Xavier play, it reminded very much of Notre Dame.
Well, the Preble game versus Xavier was supposed to be held here at East Stadium. However, there was a conflict that night where East was also supposed to be, they double booked the stadium. The commissioner for the soccer league made a mistake in terms of the scheduling that night as well as this night, and ended up having multiple games on the same field at the same time. So the Preble game was moved to the fields at Broadview, where they played on field number 1, which you're very, very familiar with at the Alloway program.
Lived there for about 10 years.
And literally lived there as soccer games took up a considerable part of your life. Speaking of soccer, your son Joe, a talented keeper from Preble, went on to play at Platteville. Is Joe playing any soccer right now?
Right now he's retired. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but he had another finger injury, broke an index finger this time, and this time required a pin. This was about 2 weeks near the conclusion of the Summer League tournament. Joe did very well at Platteville, got on the Wisconsin State coaches team first year as a freshman, which was really nice to see, along with Toby Barris and a number of the great players from Oshkosh. but Joe wanted to make a switch and has changed over to University of Wisconsin-Madison. He's got a year to think about if he'd like to try out for that team. Right now, he may be retired, but you never know.
Well, he had a great soccer career. We got a chance to watch him play. He's one of the finest players in the area, and I very frankly thought he was well qualified to be on the All-State team. And there was that year there was, I think, some play by a coach from Sheboygan that I didn't agree with in terms of setting his player to be on the state team as opposed to the player that was most qualified, which I believe was Joe Cagliari.
Well, and one thing nice about Joe is he's humble. That didn't bother him. It probably bothered me more than it did him. He's a classy guy, and he's just, when the people meet him and talk to him, they're just so impressed. I'm kind of humbled to have him for a son because he is a class act. Here's the opportunity here for 32.
West with the run, crossing pass, a player open, and has a header that could have went to the far post. A miss hit off the head that went wide.
Yeah, Kem Bao Tao getting it to Chiking Kong. Kong with the header, just going wide. I mean, that goal scores, we've got a whole new game.
With less than a minute to play here, could have very easily brought that to a 2-1 margin as the keeper was moving to the far side where most of the attackers were. The header was played back towards the near post and played the ball wide.
I told Rick Kramer, this team is very, very close. They just need a couple of breaks to go their way, and they can be very tough to beat.
Well, they have to keep their chins up. Many cases when a team struggles with their record, they have more infighting and more issues that develop between the players because they blame each other for some of the repeated losses. But they have to hang together, work as a team, continue to work on their skills, and good things will come for them.
The other thing that's tough for West is I don't think they substitute too much, and so they can potentially get fatigued near the end of a contest.
Well, speaking of the end of the contest, we reached the halftime of the contest here at East Stadium, and the Green Bay East Red Devils hold a 2-0 margin over their crosstown rival Green Bay West Wildcats, and we'll return with more Wistar soccer action in just a moment. As we return to second half play here from East Stadium, the East team in the white with the red shorts will be attacking the goal on our right. West team will be defending that goal and move to the towards the East goal on the left end of the field, or west end. It's a relatively nice night. They had expected possible rainstorms, possible thunderstorms, and today, although it's a little humid, it's still a pretty nice night. Ball's still out in front of the net, goes off the foot of the defender, and almost skirts in the far corner of the goal. Keeper jumps back to smother that ball, or it could have very easily been 2-1. Our second half play here, West trying to quickly cut the margin from 2-0. West with a long clearing kick, and it goes past the scorers table up into the stand area. We see the Green Bay Southwest team, who's going to be playing on this field shortly thereafter, up in the stands. And the ball comes out of bounds. Throw in for the Red Devils, trying to put pressure on the Wildcats here. Again, you're joined by Wistar producer and director Gary Winters and our ace color commentator Mark Cagliari.
And Gary, I was right down there when Cam Tao had a chance to do that scissors kick into the net. You don't know how close he was to rifling that ball in there. Getting the ball right in the slot, try to do a scissors kick, and he just missed getting solid foot on the ball.
As the ball gets cleared by Elby, Elby's got a strong booming kick. And it looks like Sanchez there with the ball tried to play it up. And West again putting a little bit more pressure here.
But you can see a sign of some of the 1-2 passing, some of the give and goes that West has developed.
The East team has had far more possession time of the ball and has probably had the best opportunities. But West has had a few there that if they could have converted, could have very easily made this a 2-2 or a 3-2 game.
And that's the way soccer is. You really get nervous when you have lots of opportunities and you don't capitalize.
West tries to play the ball out of danger. Back up into their offensive end. We'll see if the nemesis of the Red Devils will haunt them here. They're a team that has played very well in first half play. But second half play, something happens. In fact, I was teasing Coach Anthony Achella after a recent contest that you should just leave those boys alone. I don't know what he says at halftime, but somehow the switch gets turned off. They surprised some very talented teams. They were up by, I believe, a 3-2 margin over Notre Dame, and they were up over the Green Bay Southwest team by a 2-1 margin at halftime, and then went on to lose both of those contests.
And sometimes it's just a lack of confidence. So you find yourself ahead of these very good teams, or the teams that are supposedly rated better than you. You're doing better than them, and you really start second-guessing yourself. You really should just play solid, play hard, and know that you can play with that team.
It's Longley, number 2, with the ball down the line and into the corner. We lost video on that. We couldn't see him as he went down into the corner. Ball goes.
Nice save by 15. Hua Yang.
Again, the lines here along the sidelines are very difficult. It looked like it's out of bounds, but it was actually outside the football field.
All right, the inside line is the football field end line, and we do come in color. Might be hard to see though that the yellow line is the out of bounds for the soccer games, and it's only about a yard and a half from the track.
Laubenstein comes on for East. It was announced during the halftime where they introduced the parents. Laubenstein was a 4-year player for the East Red Devils. West with a corner kick here.
Hua Yang to take the kick. Gets it nice and high, maybe a little too high.
The West squad tends to be a little smaller, and so balls in the air probably work to their disadvantage because of the larger players from the East side.
Right, on a corner kick, West needs to have line drive low kicks and then have speed to beat your opponents. Tap back by East to the keeper, nice play.
Good clearing kick by the keep up to half field. And the player in offside position as he wanders his way back into his defense or back to an onside position. West with the kick. One of the things we learned too from playing against some teams when Preble played the
corner kick here,
Sheboygan South team recently, and then later played Cedarburg, we got to learn the nuances of the offside trap. And there might have been a trap play on that last situation where the player from East was in an offside position.
and Green Bay West has always been noted for using the offside trap. Many times they've been burned by the offside trap, but they are one team that does like to do it. Nice header, and a nice save.
beautiful header ball, put on goal. Keeper had to reach to his full length to get up and take that ball before it hit just underneath the bar.
I believe that was number 15, Hua Yang, for East getting his head on. I think if he had gotten a little more power on that, that ball was in.
Well, the keeper was able to watch it all the way and then jump up high to get it, but a smaller keeper might have
Here's
had
Yang once again. Oh, and he had number 39, Josh Olenachek, wide open.
If he make the one-touch tap to the wing instead of trying to go through the players, he might have had an opportunity.
Number 2 for East, Scott Longley, putting some nice pressure from the forward spot. You know, forwards don't think they've got to do anything when they don't have the ball, but that's very much the contrary. They need to put some good pressure when the defenders have the ball.
Well, that was one of the things that I was impressed with when I watched Xavier play. The Appleton attacking line became very, very good at jumping passes and defensive mistakes by their opponents and then taking the ball in quickly and scoring. Many cases when you play forward, especially in the youth ranks, you think you're only an offensive weapon and you really don't play any defensive play on the field.
In fact, our summer team, Homework Incorporated, we had Jeremy Stanley join us for the last 3 years of his career. And that was something that Jeremy wasn't used to. Jeremy was used to sitting on top, waiting for the ball to come to him. And that's one thing we impressed upon him, is the need to put pressure. And our last game as a team was against the Neenah FC team that was second in the state cup 2 years in a row. And Jeremy did a lot of hustling out there the last game, which we did beat. We did beat the second place team last game of the season. And Jeremy just looked totally drained.
Longley with the shot.
Nice shot by Longley.
Nice run, good defense.
Good defense by Haight. One thing nice about that is some defenders will pull that player down to do a penalty kick, and Haight did a nice job of putting enough pressure to force Longley to put a shot on where the goalie knew where the ball was going.
Well, so he took away some of the angle of the shot.
And that's all you want to do. You just want to take away some of that angle so the goalie's got some feel where that ball's coming from. That's an excellent play by Haight.
We have a throw-in coming by number 13 for the Wildcats.
That's Nerv Lee.
Ball goes deep towards the corner.
Lee getting the ball up to Olenachek.
Pushed by Olenachek.
Put a lot of pressure on, but then pushed off with his hands.
Looks like a foul on Olenachek, and that's a mistake that forwards shouldn't make.
You know, we talked about defenders, that they shouldn't make fouls near the 18. The Olenachek had the defenders pinned and then caused the foul to give him a free kick.
And keeper there for the East team lets it bound out of his hand, and luckily it didn't bound either out of the box or to an attacker.
There was a nice no call right there by Chick Hawkins. The player from East got tripped, and Chick, seeing that East had an advantage, put the play on. And a lot of parents scream when a foul's not called, but that was an excellent play or call or no call by Chick Hawkins.
Well, some people don't understand the nuances of the advantage rule and don't realize that the referee, by not calling that foul, he's actually helping their team. But some people will get a little vocal. We've heard some of those at contests we've been a part of.
In fact, one thing I'm trying to do when I referee is I try to delay my call a second or two just to see what happens. Now, some people might get mad for not calling it right away, but just want to make sure that I'm making the right call and seeing if an advantage is gained.
East has been struggling to get the ball out of their defensive end here. And, you know, instead of the white attack that we were seeing quite a bit, they're now playing more of a defensive role here as West has taken more possession.
And really, West is not a team you want to play just defense with, because West normally doesn't get that many offensive opportunities. If you give them too many, I think they're going to start getting excited a little bit more. Probably the best strategy for East is to get it in the West defensive half and leave it there for the rest of the contest.
Well, with a 2-0 lead, they surely would like to do that, but they haven't had a lot of offensive thrusts here.
And West is doing a nice pressure job.
Oh, ball's out in front. And step or two either way could have been a shot on goal there for the Wildcats. Again, this presentation is brought to you by Wistar Sports. Our games are shown throughout Green Bay area, Appleton, and throughout the Fox cities. If you happen to be in Neenah Menasha, it's on Time Warner Cable 2. And if you happen to be in Appleton or any of the other areas around Green Bay, it's on Time Warner Cable Channel 4.
Boy, number 16, Ilya Savilenchny, was wide open on the near wing over here. The Green Bay West defender decided not to go after him. East could have had a nice breakaway there.
Well, too often the focus is always on the side where the ball is located, but the weak side attacker, in many cases, is the one that can create the most damage. I know in our offensive scheme, we would try to use the outside halfback and the run that they make in space out there as one of the offensive weapons.
As we always do, we try to keep that outside nice and wide and hope that our teammate will cross that ball into a streaking wide open guy on the outside.
West again tries to push the ball back in, and East struggles to get the ball out of their end. You need is a quick one-touch clearing kick to get the ball up the field. They have the speed, and they have some of the attackers, but they just haven't been able to get that into an attacking position. West with the throw.
Well, and as you mentioned earlier, West is a smaller team, but they do have a lot. I would say overall they have a little more quickness. Certainly East has quick players, as we saw in those first two goals.
Yes, we did. But East is trying to play the ball straight up the middle channel, and you're playing it right into the foot of your opponent's sweeper. As players that have played for me know, that's what I call the funnel on the field. And if you play it into the funnel, all you're going to do is get that ball kicked right back out. You need to use the corners, create some opportunities by some of the crossing passes you make.
Ty Kong back into the lineup for Green Bay West.
Kong, number 5. Ty comes from a very, very good family. His mother, I know, works 2 or 3 jobs to help support the family. His father recently was coming back from I'm not sure if it was a heart attack or stroke, but he was definitely disabled severely by the medical situation he had. And but it's a good, close-knit family. His sister, as well as his older brother, Cy, play soccer, and the family's always there to provide that support. Good quality kid, nice family to be a part of soccer in the Green Bay area. Ooh, shot. Keeper grabs it just as it approaches the goal line.
Cambu Tao once again.
The shot from the outside by West. Keeper is the young man who had been their backup keeper, I believe. Their original keeper was Chris Campbell, which we happened to see during the Green Bay East contest. Longley knocks down his opponent, number 2, from the opposite side, and there'll be a free kick for West here. West with a long kick. Cross in to his teammates with a tap to the far side. Number 35 on the ball, trying to save possession before it goes
Goal kick.
Over the line.
It's King Kong trying to control that ball.
We're at about the 22.5 minute mark remaining in second half play. The Red Devils of Green Bay East still hold a 2-0 margin over their crosstown rival Green Bay West.
Finisher left, number 13, Joe Lee.
Nice play. Cross hits the bar. Ooh, and ball goes off. Here one of the fans from West yelling for them to take the shot. And they did listen. There was a couple shots on goal there, one of which hit the bar.
Nick Ribeiro doing a nice job there for East.
Long clearing kick that Elby runs out to get possession of.
Probably a nice idea by East. There's a lot of pressure there by West. Kick the ball upfield and get a little bit of timeout to regroup.
Unfortunately, when you give the ball back to Elby, he's got such a long clearing kick. That ball is back at your 18 very shortly.
Have a foul called.
Foul in the play.
Or maybe somebody was hurt. Looks
Player.
like an injured player for West coming off.
I believe that was Olenichik.
Looks that way. He doesn't look happy. I don't know what happened.
Apparently he must have gone down. The referee thought he was injured. The coach came out to assist him, and he got up thinking, hey, I didn't need to be off the field. I want to go back on.
Well, and sometimes, yeah, we do have a drop ball, so there was no foul called. You know, and sometimes players do that. They fake like they're hurt trying to get a call. Next thing you know, they're being told they have to leave the game.
Which works against them. we have some...
We definitely have some...
unusual comments by the fans here asking the West players to take the shot.
Certainly giving them words of encouragement.
I guess that would be what was considered encouragement.
Looks like we have a corner kick or a throw.
I think he was speaking to them in Hawaiian.
I don't think that was Hawaiian.
He was speaking about cojones, which I thought were friends.
We have a flag up. We have offsides on Green Bay West.
Offside left.
With 20 minutes and 30 seconds left in regulation.
After being in Hawaii, I could have sworn that was Hawaiian. But the West families and parents that are here on Parents' Night encouraging their players to take the shot as they find themselves with a 2-goal deficit with 20 minutes remaining in second half play.
This is a doubleheader game. We have Green Bay West and Green Bay Southwest and Green Bay Preble playing right after this contest. In fact, I heard some of the fans seeing the two teams coming out to warm up and say, "Ooh, look at this game that we got coming up next." So, going to be certainly an exceptional game. Green Bay Southwest with 2 conference losses, Preble with 1, and having a chance to get a share of the FRVC championship tonight. Green Bay Southwest, despite having 2 losses, ranked as an honorable mention for Division I.
The Southwest team got that ranking because of their play in a tournament in Milwaukee where not only they beat one of the perennial powerhouses in Division II, Whitefish Bay, but then also went on to beat number 2 ranked Middleton and got some notoriety for those 2 victories in that tournament.
And you look at the teams in the area, Notre Dame, Southwest, and Preble, and look at the teams from Milwaukee that have been beaten this year. Normally, the teams up here have played the teams from Milwaukee tough, but now we're actually beating them and beating them consistently. I've heard a number of times where we only have 1 or 2 years of good teams, and we're getting consistently better as far as talent in this area.
Well, the teams I know of some note that
breakaway here for East.
He was
Scott
on
Longley. He was on his own half.
Shot just wide. keeper came out to cut off the angle. Elby with the dive to take away his shooting angle, and Longley tried to play the ball past his hand into the far post, and it just went wide.
A number of great plays there. Also, Yia Yang, number 21, was trying to catch up to Longley, couldn't, but was able to at least get close to him where I think Longley felt his presence. Now, Yang could have taken him down, could have gotten a penalty kick, a red card. That was a very nice play by Yang, just to let Longley know that he was there.
Well, Longley, that's a tough play. When you look at it, you say, oh, heck, he was all alone. It was just him and the goalie. There's a lot more to it because a touch, a mistouch, maybe ball's played a little too far ahead. A big keeper like Elby, who covers a lot of space in the box, and when he comes out with his wings extended, can take away a lot of the angle on the goal.
We have a direct kick here for Green Bay East, about 7 yards outside the penalty box.
Referee pulling him back. Chick Hawkins saying he can know exactly where you should be because the football lines are still on the field.
That's what I like about being a referee. I mean, there's no issue as far as what 10 yards are.
Well, he can easily see it with the lines on the field, too. Well, the ball goes high and wide.
Number 6, Matt Bloomer, kicking that high, and really, you want to do one of two things. You want to kick it over the wall with it coming down, or you want to kick it around the wall. I think the best guy I saw was that guy that went to Maryland from McGuanago.
Brad Falk.
Brad Falk had a most patented play of shooting the ball over the wall and just underneath the crossbar that I've ever seen.
For those players that say, well, I'd like to be a direct kick, player for your team, Brad Falk practiced that at least an hour a day, possibly upwards to 2 hours a day, just kicking the ball at the net, having a series of shots where he would try to swerve the ball around the wall and in, or tried to play the ball, chipped it over the wall and dropped it in.
And normally what you do, you set the wall so that that ball will go over the crossbar. My son was playing goalie at the time, and you cover the other side of the net. Certainly Joe ticked one of the balls, in fact both of the balls, and it still went in. You just don't expect the ball to be going over the wall and underneath the crossbar. Brad Falk had a beautiful shot.
Well, it comes with practice, and any part of the game that when you play the game, what you want to do is make sure you're playing.
Foul on Green Bay West, and Longley almost retaliating, which he shouldn't do, because he's got a nice opportunity here.
Although he did get about an 8 on that dive. It was a hit. It was definitely a foul there. Whether it was enough to knock him over or not, but he took full use of that bump near the box.
And West had his hand on the Green Bay East player. Certainly you're allowed to do that, but if the player does that, I mean, you're going to assume that he was pushed. The West player's hands is on the back of the East player.
Well, it went for naught, and now we're going back the other way with the West team on the attack. Although East started a run here. Where
in fact, last few minutes, they've been taking it to Green Bay West.
Drop pass, good mark there, though, right on the player. Again, here in second half play with about 14 and a half minutes remain in this game. East still holds a 2-0 lead over West. Flick in towards the net, played off the head of the sweep, or the fullback back there. Ooh, player taken down. It looks like Bernardi that went down. That was a foul, very definitely.
And it could have been a red card foul, too. That was from behind.
Well, some referees may even give the yellow. I don't know about the red. It didn't look violent, but it definitely was in scoring area.
And normally you're right, they do give the yellow, but technically a clip from behind is supposed to be a red card.
Well, we're going to have a kick here. Looks like Longley, they aren't sure. They played the ball across. It was a two-touch with a player running onto the ball.
I'm not sure if I understood that. I would think that if you're going to do a wide tap on that, You want to get it to a guy wide open. Normally what you want to do is just touch the ball and have the guy coming right behind you to put it on the net.
But he played it into space where there was a West player there, and they weren't able to make that good second touch as a result. So with about 13 minutes remaining here in second half play, East with the throw-in at midfield. Fake on throwing it back and fool the cameraman with it. Bernardi with the ball, holding possession, trying to make a cross. And then right now East wants to hold the ball, keep possession. They'd surely like a score or two, but they want to make sure that their opponents don't get the opportunities. West with a couple missed touches that could have led to a nice run. Kong with the cross, and ball comes back out by the East team. And a long lead pass with the flag of the referee up here, as one or both of the attackers were in an offside position. Apparently it was the player on the near side as opposed to the
Scott
far side.
Longley questioning the call there.
Well, he likes to jump the play as much as he can and use that speed.
Well, and really you don't want to jump the play, you want to time the run. You really can be a step or two even in front of the defender. It's where you are when that ball is tapped, and you want to have a full run going. Even if you're a step and a half in front of the defender.
Longley with the cross.
Even though you're a step and a half in front of the defender.
But that one apparently was on the backside of the goal.
On the backside of the net. Even though you're step ahead of the defender, you got a full run going, and you'll just blow right past them. But people have to cheat a little too much. And the side judge, typically, if it's even, it's on. But if you get carried away a little too much, they'll blow you for offsides.
It looks like the Preble team is coming over to the sidelines. The teams from Southwest already practicing in the back.
Preble is warming up on the east side of the field, which we couldn't see, is out of our view.
Tong with the ball, plays it off the foot of one of the players from East. Looks like we'll have a corner kick coming.
You know, and a nice play by Lubenstein. He did his tackle, got rid of the ball. He could have very easily have taken the West player down, but made a smart heads-up play by just getting the ball.
Well, and they actually came up with, they said the ball went off of West, apparently, and so there's a goal kick coming for the East team.
Either way, nice play by Lubenstein. You know, you really don't talk about defenders much, but we've seen some nice defensive plays tonight.
Well, you have to have that to have an effective team. They don't get the box score notoriety. They don't get, we saw a player knocked down by Longley.
Yeah, Longley better be careful. He could have gotten flagged for a yellow there, pulled Haight down.
He's a passionate player, and we've seen him get himself in trouble with that passion.
Here's Olenichek getting the ball up to number 10. Greg Elby.
Elby's quick. Elby plays for me in the summertime, and Elby is a very, very speedy player. Although he's been injured earlier this year, and he's still coming back from that injury. Elby used to run track. I didn't have him play for me in the spring sometimes because he was running the sprints for his high school track team. Well, and we got the ball thrown in. I'm watching the ball boy, and the regular ball is on the field. Somebody wake up our cameraman here.
We would like to remind you that tonight's soccer game is being produced for broadcast on Time Warner Cable Television, Cable Channel 4 in Green Bay and the Fox Cities, and Cable Channel 2 in Neenah, Menasha. Tonight's game will be broadcast on Tuesday, October 23rd from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Well, we want to thank the public address announcer for throwing in a spot to tell everybody when this will be shown. And October 23rd is the date that this game will be on the air on Time Warner Cable and throughout Fox Cities area. We have a goal kick coming for West, and Elby looks like he'll step back and boom it. He's been making some great kicks here. Ball is carried past the center arc in some place on punts. Now, a ball played off the ground won't carry it quite as far, but he's been getting some great range from it. And with 8:07, we're having some players coming on and coming off.
Green Bay West doing some significant substitutions, which is probably a great idea right now.
Well, it's parents' night. That's the other issue, is that some of the players, because they haven't substituted a lot, some of the players
Is it parents' nights for both East and West, or just for East tonight?
I believe both teams. At least it's senior night for East and West. Both of their players are seniors are recognized in the booklet that's handed out here.
In fact, this could be the last conference game for both for the seniors for both teams.
Yes, it could be. So, in fact, yes, because high school playoff action starts fairly shortly, and in fact, I would think that there's going to be some interested bystanders here, as we know that the Bay Conference teams are not playing. Having some difficulty seeing the corner here. Bay Conference teams are not playing tonight, so some of those teams that would be seeing some of these squads in high school playoff action are probably here watching their potential opponents.
Harry Boyce in for Green Bay East. And it's kind of a shame you really don't get a whole lot of interconference games going on. I know a few years ago we had Preble playing Bayport and whatnot, and that's where you typically will see it now, is more in the tournaments, where now Bayport and Ashwaubenon will play Division I, and you'll have say a West De Pere playing Division II.
Well, Thursday evening is the night where some teams are finding an open date to do that. I know the Preble team is playing Ashwaubenon on Thursday, and we have Notre Dame, I've been told, is playing Bayport Thursday evening.
Who's playing Bayport?
I thought it was Notre Dame.
Which really is a nice thing, because Notre Dame is a Division II team, or classified as Division II, and Bayport Division I, so they're not going to be playing each other in the playoffs.
But they will be playing against a quality opponent that will help prime them for playoff action.
No question. Both of them very quality teams.
Bloomer with the throw. A player goes down, but I think it was intentional. Both got their feet tied up, it looked like.
What's going to be real interesting is the second game between Preble and Southwest. Preble trying to get a tie for first place. Notre Dame is playing Sheboygan North tonight. And let me tell you, Sheboygan North has been known to make spoilers out of Notre Dame at times.
Sheboygan North on the same field played Preble, and they were a quality team.
And I believe on that night a number of their players did not play. I'm not sure the reason why, but I do know a number of them were not in uniform that night.
It was a good matchup, which Preble came away with a 3-1 victory. But and there are times when Sheboygan North has had their way with Notre Dame, especially on the Notre Dame field. We watched them a couple years ago, Mark, remember?
Oh, in fact, that cost them the conference championship. That was Green Bay Preble's, I believe, first ever conference championship, and a lot of it had to do with.
Holy cow! Look at this kick by Elby.
That was almost a 60, 70-yard kick there.
He came out with it, came to the 18, cleared the ball. It bounced near the arc on the opposite end of the field. What a beautiful clearing kick by Matt Elby, the West goalie.
And that's a brand new rule for WIAA, is that the keeper can go all the way out to the edge of the box. He has 6 seconds to get rid of the ball, and that can create some offensive opportunities if you have some forwards cherry picking downstream.
Well, I would definitely try to go to the goal when you have a guy that can give you that big of an assist with his kick.
In fact, Joe played for Platteville, and last year that was a lot of their strategy, was Joe getting to the edge of the box, kicking it upfield to an attacking forward. In fact, he even scored from the goalie spot in spring ball this year.
In what respect? What?
He was a keeper and went out to the edge of the line, kicked the ball upfield. The keeper made a mistake and it bounced over his head and into the net. So keepers now can get assists. In fact, they can even score goals if they have a powerful enough leg like Elby has here.
Well, on certain small fields, especially.
Small fields and also a wind advantage.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, with just over 3 minutes remaining in second half play, East still holds a 2-0 margin. West is trying to put pressure on to get a couple quick strikes here, but they've yet to put one past their keeper for it.
East would have to fall apart right now to lose this contest.
Got a foul, and
foul on number 2 for West.
Well, he'll get up slowly.
That was Jason Moi.
Set the ball and play it ahead. Again, for Parents' Night, nice play by Greg Elby to get that ball out of danger. Number 10. Greg's a junior for the Wildcats. Nice lead pass to Bernardi. He's dangerous in that area, but the defender keeps himself between Bernardi and the ball. And Bernardi with the misfire goes wide, and with just over 2 minutes remaining, it looks like East is going to come away with a victory here, unless Elby can put one deep in the other end for his team to take off with. Ball goes to midfield off of East head. This is a different game. First half was pretty much dominated by East early in the second half, and through early parts of the second half, West had possession, but not a lot of shots on goal. And then finally, East has had a couple runs, but has held that 2-0 lead that they had coming into intermission. Ball played away by Tai Kong.
Nice pass up to number 27.
27.
Jason Grigsby.
Grigsby. Jason's come on. Another one of my youngsters that I've, he's not, for a 16 or 17-year-old player, I guess a youngster isn't the right term. He's an outside halfback that plays for me in the summer.
You know, you keep thinking they're youngsters, then I go and referee the parochial tournaments, and I see the uniforms that the kids wear as 4th and 5th graders, and I realize, hey, my son's grown up.
Yeah, they grow up a lot faster than you'd like.
Doggone it, I think they're 3 feet tall in those uniforms, and now to think your son's about 6 foot tall, mine's 6'3", I guess they're not kids anymore.
Nope. With about 27 seconds left in the game here, West trying to get a quick goal.
Nice shot by Haight.
Oh, Haight, their keeper or sweeper comes up to get a shot on goal, and the keeper's going to hold it for almost all the time. As 11 seconds on the clock.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And Elby with the ball and bangs the ball out in his last contest in FRVC action. Ball bounces down into the far end. And in tonight's action, the Green Bay West Wildcats go down to defeat to the Green Bay East Red Devils. Goal scoring that we had in first half action. First goal was scored on a pass from Bernardi to Bloomer out in front of the goal. A nice hit by Bloomer, put it past the keeper for first tally. And I'm having some difficulty remembering the second tally, but East goes on to take those 2 goals in first half action.
I think that was Nick Ribeiro that got that second goal?
Yeah, I believe it was Ribeiro on a nice run where he attacked the goal, and the defender was running right along with him. He was able to make a nice touch and place it past the keeper and on to give the Red Devils their second and final goal. And for Wistar Sports, we come away with a 2-0 victory for the Red Devils over their crosstown opponent, the Wildcats from Green Bay West. Mark, I want to thank you for joining us tonight in tonight's action. had some good quality play. I'm glad we had a chance to get us together so we could do this game. So for Mark Cagliari and Gary Winters, your producer and director of Wistar Sports, we want to thank you for joining us tonight in our contest where the Green Bay East Red Devils won this FRVC matchup by a 2-0 score over Green Bay West. We want to thank you for joining us tonight, and we want to remind you, as always, that every day is a great day for soccer.